I understand. Any plans to go back to another country? Hmm. Ah, yeah, I understand. Okay, let me see if people are still joining or not, and then I'm gonna start because I think that's I don't want to waste anyone's time. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, I will put everyone on mute when I'm talking, and you can ask any questions in the chat. And after I explained everything we're gonna do, then of course I will make time to do a Q and A. So I think you can also read what I'm gonna say. But okay, let's start. Let's start. Thanks everyone for coming. Thanks everyone for joining in. Um, let's start. See. There we go. All right. Let me check one thing. All right. Yes. Again, thanks everyone for joining. Um, Today we're gonna do our second live stream, talking about the recent news events and the upcoming news events, technical analysis. So, what do I look for in the charts? What do I trade? I mostly trade crypto and forex, and I will show you the key levels and my strategy. I will explain a little bit about it because it's if I'm gonna explain everything, it's getting too technical. And also, after I explained everything, we're gonna do some, yeah, we're gonna do a Q&A. So things you struggle with, and yeah, gonna look how I can help you further. Um, Before I start, I want to see how I can open the chat so I can. So if you have any questions, you can just send a chat message. Let's see. Let's see if I can. All right, let's do it like this. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to interrupt me. Just ask your question. I will maybe answer it immediately, or I will park it for later. Um, so let's get into it. What happened last week? What were the last news events? I wrote them down for myself. Let me see. Yeah, so what happened last week? We had some major high impact news events. Also, we saw some indices. So, like the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones, we saw them raising very hard after Trump announced that he's gonna pause the import tariffs for 90 days. You can also see it on the, I think on the Nasdaq. It's Yes, on the Nasdaq it was easy to see. So let's see. So at 9th of April, on like around 6 o'clock, Trump announced that he's gonna pause the import tariffs for 90 days, and that's yeah, that's very bullish for the stock market. As you can see, This is the Nasdaq indice, but also the not this one, the Dow Jones, 9th April, and the S&P 500 at 9th of April. You see, very high impact news, yeah, influenced the market and made the price raise. The Nasdaq was the most, it raised the most because Nasdaq has a lot of tech companies in it, and tech companies are like a little bit more risk on assets, and yeah, they go good if the import tariffs will go, yeah, will be on hold. So also, what did we see is because Trump announced the 90 days pause, you also saw like on Bitcoin, you saw the price raising. Let me check it like this. Yes, around this point, you see high impact news doesn't only have impact on the big indices, but also on, yeah, risk on assets, and risk on assets are like assets that doesn't hold or are like a little bit yeah, are more new, so they are not here for like a long time, and many big companies or many big institutionals and big players, they don't really trust these assets, uh, yeah, enough. So that's also why most of people that trade Bitcoin were a little bit surprised that Bitcoin was holding on very well. I mean, like, as you guys can see, S&P, the S&P, oh sorry, S&P, it, yeah, when Trump announced the import tariffs and China reacted to it, you see a big, uh, yeah, fall down, a big drop off. We call it in the technical space, a big drop off of 12% of many indices. But also, as you can see, we are, yeah, it's raising quite well. So you would say like if you started investing in stocks last weeks, it could have been a good week for you for you. All right, so not only that happened, also U.S. inflation numbers were announced, and they were less. Yeah, they raised less harder than as expected, which was good for the stock market, of course. Um, Also in the ESCB, the European bank, they all also think that the yeah, the rent tariffs or the interest tariffs are going down, but still the Fed is still waiting for yeah, for more data. So yeah, that's about the last news events. I don't think I am forgetting anything important there. And as I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to interrupt me. Just put your mic on and just ask your questions because I don't know where I can see the chat. And so upcoming news events. What are we looking? So what are we looking for? And what do we? I always look for myfxbook.com for upcoming news events, and I always select high impact news. So these are not important because high impact news, it influences the price charts a lot. So you only want to look at high impact news that has something to do with your yeah, with the asset you trade. So for example, the Chinese Chinese news is not really important to me. US is important to me. Euro is important to me. Of course, if Fed Powell, maybe you saw the meme, but if he speaks, prices will go up high or prices will go up low. Um, so if you, because I trade Euro USD, sometimes I trade GBP USD, but most of the time I trade Bitcoin because Bitcoin is just a asset I trade good on. So I only look at the news events from GPP USD. Oops. GPP USD, um, Euro USD, or I mean Euro, and yeah, that's it. To be honest. So what's happening the upcoming weeks or the upcoming week? Um, Let me see. Yeah, they're saying that it's expecting that the inflation will go up higher, but I'm more of a technical trader, so I don't really look at the fundamentals that far away ahead because that's on 16th of April, and we're right now on 13th of April, I think. Yes, 13th of April. So yeah, that's it. I think for the news events. Let me see. Yeah, so that's it for the news events. I think what people are more interested in is like what is Bitcoin going to do and where are you looking at? So if you have any questions about the news events, just ask me right now. Otherwise, I will go on and go to the Bitcoin chart. I think that means no questions. Sorry? No, I can't see the chat. Is there any question that has been asked? Ah, okay. Yes, sure. Because I don't know why I can't open the chat. I don't know. Maybe if I do like, let me check. Ah, here it is. Yes, I have the. Okay, I see the chat. I do it like this. All right. Let's go on with the Bitcoin chart. So, what I always tell in my videos, if someone watches the videos, I think it's very important to always watch the Bitcoin analysis because that's where I share my thoughts, my insights, and the way I trade. And I always say, like, I trade in a range trading strategy. So that means this is my range low, this is my range high. Last time, Davida asked me, but how do you spot these levels? It's hard to say, but what I always say, like so institutions are the people that move the market, right? Welcome, Stefano. If I say your name good, I see you just joined in. So what I was just explaining, I'm trading a range trading strategy. So what that means, I trade within a range. And I always, and Davida asked me last time, I repeat myself because another person joined. But Davida asked me last time, but how do you know what's the range? So the range is like a place where the market moves from a strong impulse. So that means institutions and big players move the markets. And when you see So for example, this is the daily chart, by the way. Um, this is the daily chart. So every candle is, by the way, a daily candle. So daily, so every candle is one day of price action. So how do I spot daily? So how do I spot where institutions buy in? So how do I see where institutions um, yeah, are buying the Bitcoin, for example? Because we're looking at the Bitcoin chart right now. Um, you always know institutions, big players, they move the markets, they trade with big money, right? Because or 100 or 1,000 or $10,000, they don't move the market. They have no impact on the market. So even if you trade with 1 million, so this is a place where institutions place their longs. How do I see that? Because after they bought here and they can't buy it all at once because it takes a few days. After they bought here in this zone, the price moves up. Most of the time, it's hard for us to see um, or for us to spot the first buyers. So, first buyers, institutional money. So, what do? I do like this. And always what happens, um, so this is where the range starts. This is where the range starts. So this price action is hard to trade. You just wait for a range to start. After the range started, so you have a low and you have a high. So range high, range low again. I also explained in my last also explained in my last videos, in my last analysis, that that if you're reaching the range high, you will look for shorts, and if you reach the range low, you will look for longs. I think that's quite clear because, as you can see here, people looking for longs. Let me see. Can I do this? Yes. Here, people are looking for shorts, and all the way down, like it gets more, um, it gets more yeah, better chance to be in a short around here, a better chance to be in a low to be in a long around here. You never, well, it's not never, but I normally don't trade in the middle of the range, because if you do in the middle of the range, you have to go down on lower time frame, and then you can also draw ranges there. But I will keep it easy. I will keep it simple today. Can I erase this? Yes. Okay. So I hope now you know how do I draw those ranges, and I always start on higher time frame because less candles is less noise, is it's easier to understand. So what happens after after we broke out of this range? There will come a new range, right? So for example, all the liquidity is gone and we want to move to another range. So another range starts here. Why another range starts here? Because strong impulse, and we're going to set up a new high. Let me do it like this. Um, no, I'll keep this one here. Once again, if you have questions, I see the chat right now, so you can just ask your questions in the chat, and I will try to answer them immediately, or I will park them for a later moment. So I will erase this one right now. So what happens? The range starts again. Range starts again. Let me take a sip. Range starts again. Again, you want to look for shorts here and longs around this level. Institutions buy in, once again, first buyers, institutional money, making a high, all right? We test the high again, but we don't break it. So what do I mean with we don't break the high? Um, well, let me ask you guys. This is my strategy, right? So I first always look for key level reaction gain or rejection. What do I mean with a range high that has to get broken or not broken for me to go long or go short? Or do you guys know what a gain and rejection is? I just ask you guys. You can just type in the chat. So what does a let me ask it like this. What is a gain or rejection? I mean breaking the answer. Okay, that's fair. I have no idea. I will explain it in a bit. Anyone else that has a answer? Me, I wait for a daily candle to close. Me, I wait for a daily candle to close. Yes, makes sense. Because a daily candle to close, it shows you like if you made a gain or not, right? That's what you mean, Alan. I think. Davida or Stefano, do you have any clue? Okay, Stefano, you messaged me directly and said don't know. No problem, no problem. I will go over it. Okay, let's get into it. Otherwise, it takes a little bit too long. Okay, it's because if the daily candle close above a previous resistance, most of the time it will do it. It's because if the but I use confluence to enter the tree. Okay, maybe if you have an example and you can make one on your computer. I think when you hit the range high, but it gets pushed down. Yeah, but I want you to, if you, I think you use TradingView, right? Yeah, and can you show me what you think and just make a screenshot of it and we'll discuss it after. We'll discuss it after, all right? Sure, also, for sure. Yeah, okay, no problem. Just post it in the chat and we'll discuss it later. Yes? All right. Um, I think when you hit the range high, but it get pushed down. Yeah, I think you're quite right, Stefano. Okay, so let's get into it. What do I mean with my question? What is a gain or a rejection? So because we're looking at the daily daily level or daily um, yeah, we're looking at daily candles, and these are the daily range high and the daily range low. You always want to see a, so if you want to take a short, sorry, if you want to take a short, you want to see a, it doesn't matter which color it is, because I want to explain to you guys, I use green and white candles, but normally if you use tradingview.com, it's green and red. But red doesn't go good with my emotions, so I changed it to white. Um, I think it's also proven that it's not good for people. If people see the color red, they always think it's bad, but it's not bad. But it's just the way it works. So if you have a I don't know why I can move it, but if you have a candle close above this level, above this range high, it's most likely that will go up. But since you guys, if you guys look closely, if you look closely here, we wicked the range high, but we have no candle close above it. So because we have no candle close above it, and I think Stefano meant it like, I think when you hit the range high, but it gets pushed down. Yeah, this is actually what Stefano meant, because he said we we hit the range high, but we had no candle close above it. And that's also what Alain said. If it's because if the candle close above our previous resistance, so our previous range high, in my example, if you have a daily candle close above this level, it will most likely go up. But because we have a daily close below this level, it will most likely go down. And of course, oh, welcome, Vincent. You missed a little bit of the. It says the time will end in 10 minutes, but it's no problem. I think I will make a new link and I will upgrade it next time. Um, so welcome, Vincent. I will just continue with my analysis. If you have questions, ask them in the chat. So what I was explaining, if you have a candle close above this level, you will go up high. But if you just hit the range high, but no, if you will just hit the range high, but can't make a candle close above, you will reject or that means a rejection, means we go down lower to take down more shorts or take down more longs. But that's why you always want to be close to the first buyers, because this is institutional money. That's why I say on the range low you look for longs, and the range high you look for shorts. Um, because as you guys can see, because as you guys can see, everyone that went long here got taken out. You see? So that's what I mean with liquidity. You always want to take out liquidity to go up higher. So what happened? It says liquidity opgehaald in Dutch. It means liquidity grab, liquidity got taken out. Because most of the time, as you guys can see, I will go back to this range. Liquidity got taken out, and boom, we'll trade. They always say in the technical chart, we always when liquidity gets taken out, it makes place for the real move. So as you guys can see, it makes place for the real move. People that went long on this one had a much more beautiful trade than the people that went long here, because most of the time they got taken out. Can you explain what liquidity is if you have to? Of course. let me write it down here. Liquidity explain. I will go over it in a minute. Okay, so let's remove this one again. But you're never gonna look for. By the way, does everyone know what I mean with this is my strategy and what I mean with looking for a gain or a rejection? So do everyone know what I mean with a gain or a rejection? Or otherwise, I will go over it for like a little minutes. And Stefano, okay, let's go back. So this is what Alan shows. Let me see, range low, range high. Yeah, I think it's quite. I can show you guys, by the way, what I mean with a gain or a rejection, or I mean with the daily candle close. But let's move on. Let's move on. Alan, it's correct what you're saying in the chat, by the way. It's correct. Okay, so let's move on. You, like I said, you don't look for longs or shorts on the daily chart. Why you don't look for longs or short on the daily chart? Because it takes way too long. If you are a let me see, I understand, but doesn't it mean that you can take a yes, that's what I'm going over right now. That's what I'm going over right now, Stefano. So you don't look at longs or short on the daily chart. Why not? Because it takes, like you said, it takes a lot of time before you can go. There's no best, by the way, Giovanni, but it's easier to go on a lower time frame. Yes. Uh, I got a little bit distracted by the chat, so I will look at this screen. So what I said once again, you don't look at to go short or long on the daily chart, because if you go long or short on the daily chart, it takes a few days before you can enter a position. So what do you do? I don't know if you guys can see it, but up here, I will go to lower time frames. So what do I look for on lower time frames? So on higher time frame, I will look for a gain or rejection. Also, here I will look for so for example, this is the range high. So the last green candle is my range high. Welcome, RBN. If you have questions, you can you can ask them in the chat. So because the daily is more important than the 4 hour, I use the daily this time. But what do I look for on the lower time frame before I can enter? So I will just move this one upside down because this is more easy for me to explain. So understand the chart is now upside down. As you guys can see, price goes down here and price goes up here. And what do I look for? I look for lower time frame confirmation. So that means I'm looking for if I'm looking for a long, I'm looking for a higher low. Now I'm looking for a lower high. So what does this mean? Up here, I will look for a lower high. Let me see. Yeah, so you always look at the last. Sorry, I'm bringing you guys a little bit in confusion, but. Yeah, so you always look for, because now you have one confirmation. All right, it's a rejection. All right, so rejection. All right, so we probably go lower to take out more liquidity. So to take out liquidity means you want to take out some other traders, some retail traders that just, because when I started, I think Giovanni knows it. But when I started, I was just looking at the candles. I was like, okay, it's green candle, so I will buy in also. But that's not the correct way. Because retail traders always lose, or most of the time lose. That's why they say like most 90% of the traders lose. So what do you look? Now you want to see on the lower time frame if you can see a. So this is the last. Let me see. Yeah. So here you have it. I will try do it like this. So now you're looking for a structure or break. What does that mean? I said 15 minutes, but you can also go up higher. So what it means, this was the drop off. So this was the last drop off that made you go to this level. And now you wanted to gain this level. And after. Oh. After range started, so you have a low and you have a high. So range high, range low again. I also explained in my last I also explained in my last videos, in my last analysis, that if you're reaching the range high, you will look for shorts, and if you reach the range low, you will look for longs. I think that's quite clear because, as you can see here, people looking for longs. Let me see. Here, people are looking for shorts, and all the way down, like it gets more, yeah, better chance to be in a short around here, a better chance to be in a low, to be in a long around here. You never, well, it's not never, but I normally don't trade in the middle of the range, because if you do in the middle of the range, you have to go down on lower time frame, and then you can also draw ranges there. But I will keep it easy. I will keep it simple today. Yes. Okay. So I hope now you know how do I draw those ranges, and I always start on higher time frame because less candles is. Know what I mean with looking for a gain or a rejection. So do everyone know what I mean with a gain or rejection? Otherwise, I will go over it for like a little minute. If you have questions, you see on the lower time frame if you can see a. So this is the last. Let me see. Yeah. So here you have it. A little minute. The technical chart. We always okay. Maybe if you have example and you can make one on your computer. So because we're looking at the daily level or daily yeah, we're looking, but I want to explain to you guys. I use green and white candles, but normally if you use tradingview.com, it's green and red. But red doesn't go good with my emotions, so I changed it to white. I think it's all. We hit the. So what I was explaining, if you have a candle close above this level, you will go up high. But if you just hit the range high, but no, if you will just hit the range high, but can't make a candle close above, you will reject the level, or that means a rejection means we go down lower to take down more shorts or take down more longs. But that's why you always want to be close to the first buyers because it's institutional money. That's why I say on the range low you look for loans. Mm-hmm. So I will wait before I answer your question. The person that asked the question. Okay, I think everyone is here. So do you also take trades based on news feeds or just analysis? Um, I think you always like look at what news comes out, but most of the time, like the news that gets announced or news uh, that gets released. So, for example, if Trump is going to, it's like for example, let's go back to the indices. So Trump last week announced that he will he will pause the import tariffs for 90 days, right? Okay. So I was looking at this. So for example, he announced it at around 6 o'clock. You can say like, okay, so this is the Nasdaq, by the way. So you can say like, okay, I will go long on 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 Trump his on the news that get announced. But the thing is, like, you don't know what Trump is going to say because Trump is a Trump is a person that's like, no, well, not saying like not trustworthy, but he will just say random things, you know. So it's hard to trade on news. I just trade on what I see. So that's also like an important lesson for everyone. I always trade like what do I see on the chart, and not what I yeah, what maybe Trump will say because that's too hard. So I hope that answers your question. So does anyone else got a question right now? Let me. I will show you guys what are those gaps in the chart. One moment. What are the gaps in the market? I always say it's like for value gaps. So it's price. Um, so price jumped off. Let me share my screen again. So these gaps in the market, well, this is big indices. So it's most of the time it's just like a price. Most of the time it's like a market opening. Like for example, this is as you guys can see, 1530 market opening, 1530 market opening. So it just means like price opened much in this time much lower than the original price. So most of the time, you always say that's always what they say on stock market. These, oops, that's not what I want to share. So let me see if I can do that. Yes. So these levels are just gaps. So price. So these are indices. So marked opening. I think also marked opening. So most of the time, what you see with stocks, because this is an indice, so this is an index of multiple companies. I always say these are for value gaps. So what do you see with for value gaps? Price is usually one price usually wants to come back to take out some more orders um, before it trades uh, to the before it makes the real move, for example. So it's just for value gaps. So I don't know how they what they. Let me see if I can. For, how I can explain it to you guys. Yeah, exactly. So just imbalance of the original price with the opening of the of the index. You will see it on every chart, I think. Yeah, see DEX, S&P 500. So any other questions right now before I jump into the levels I'm looking for? I don't think I can see the chat anymore. Or can I? So if you have questions, just unmute yourself right now, and I will answer your questions. No questions in 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go. All right. Let me see. So what am I looking for? This chart is absolutely not clean. This one is okay. I will do it more easy. So what I said, this for value gap us. So I I didn't see it. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for. By the way, I took a trade right here, but I will not explain it in this video. But it was an entry on the 15 seconds. Not important right now. I posted it on Instagram. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for price to come back in this zone right now. And I'm looking for price to come back in this zone. So when it comes back in this zone, remember what I said. And I'm looking for longs actually. Why am I looking for longs? Because we made this is a 1 hour drop off, and we made a gain. As you guys can see, we made multiple gains above this level. So in this zone, I'm looking for longs. But what you also can do, so okay, this in this zone, I'm looking for longs on the 15-minute time frame. So remember what I said: no candle close within or no candle close below, no candle close within, no candle close below. I'm looking for longs, but I'm also looking for shorts, and I'll show you guys why I'm looking for shorts, or when I'm looking for shorts. So if you have a candle close, why I made this thing. So if we have a candle close below this level, so below this, yeah, if you look like this, below this drop off level, I will look for shorts because this is a inverted scale around, I think, let me see. Yeah, it's hard to say right now, but I think I will look for shorts here. I will not name it anything. So this is what I'm looking for. This, or on this one, I'm looking for If we just test liquidity, I'm looking for this to go back up. And I think that's it, to be honest. Maybe I draw something here also. Okay. Uh. So also if we gain or if we lose this level, if we lose this level, so a candle close in this area, so candle close, let's make it white. So candle close below this one, I can also look for, so you can also do like this, candle close above, retesting this level. But I think you will need to look for another for value gap. So I think that's it. Nothing special, to be honest. But you have to know, like, there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of news coming in this upcoming week. I explained it in the beginning of the stream. So yeah, if you're not an experienced trader, I think it's better to first get to know what's liquidity, what means range high, range low, um, what means a higher low, lower low, what is the for value gap. Um, I think I explained some things in the Discord, but I think that's it. Nothing else I want to say. If you guys have questions about the altcoins, I can also look at the altcoins. You name it, I answer. So that's it for now. If you have questions, just let me know. This one is, by the way, not important. So these are the levels I'm looking for longs, by the way. Are there any questions? Because I can't see the chat anymore. I don't know why. Can I see the chat? Can I see the chat? Oh, I have the chat again. Thanks for the information, Les. XLM, okay. Gold aux, okay. Okay. We're gonna look at XLM. I don't know if I have it here. I have it here. XLM. So what do you want to see first? Gold or XLM? Zoom user. Tell me. Gold. Okay, gold. I never trade gold, to be honest, but I see many people trading it. Gold. This is gold, I think. How do I change my name on Zoom? I think at these three dots. I can also use your name or change your name. What do you want to change it to? Let's see, gold. I never looked at gold, you guys. So I have it here, but I never look at it. So let me see. So how do you? Oh, you are Stefano. Ah, okay. I think you're on another device. Stefano, before I fuck up your name, you will call me out. Okay, gold. So how do you guys trade gold? The people that ask for gold, like, do you trade gold with sessions or you just look at it like Bitcoin? I first want to know that. Like, do you also look at the London or a New York session? Same as Bitcoin. Okay. And you, Stefano, because you asked for it too? Never trade it, but I want to learn it. Okay. Like I said, I'm not a gold trader, so it's hard for me to say. So sessions. For example, I always use this indicator for sessions. If it works, does it work? It does work. Yes. So what does this indicate? Because I don't use this for a Bitcoin, by the way. But what does this mean? Can I just? Why is this like? Okay, let's do it like this. So this is the Asian session high and low. So this means this is the wall. Let me see if I can. I think this Zoom thing does whatever you want. Anyone knows how I? Oh, like this. Okay. Yeah, better. Much better, much better. So Asian session high and low. This is the Asian session. As you guys can see, this is all during the night. All during the night. All during the night. So after the Asian session, the London session starts. So for example, um, let me see if I can say something good about it. So I first always start when I open it. When I open a chart on Monday, for example, I always start by making a range. So for example, this is the last range. Yeah, let's lay it like this. Okay, we broke the range actually. So we broke the range. Did a liquidity grab. Okay. Oops. Broke the range, did a liquidity grab, and moved up higher. Okay, that's interesting. This is the 4 hour. Okay, now we're, as you guys can see, institutions. So big players entered here. Man, that's hard, to be honest, to now trade, because what you have to do right now is, I first wanted to make a new high because we just broke out of this range. And if we broke the high, then I can say like, okay, this is the new high, this is the new range low, and I can trade within the range. Because that's what I said. I'm a range trader. But now what you maybe can do is look at lower time frame sessions. 30 minutes. Yeah. You know what it is? I want you guys to look up this continuation place. I'm not a fan of it. I don't trade this way. But if you want to trade gold Monday or Tuesday, I think you have to look at continuations play. So what I mean with this is like, uh, because gold is still making all-time high. I think this is an all-time high, right? Yes, all-time high. So and why are people investing in gold right now? Is because gold is one of the assets that is the most trustworthy right now, because um, as you guys can see, dollar is going down. Dollar is going down. Bitcoin is a risk on asset, so people don't trust it yet. There are just too many. Yeah, not many big companies are interested in Bitcoin yet, because it's also not that long on the market. Of course, you have BlackRock and you have other companies, but I mean, like, it's not like accepted by the majority of the people. So back to gold. I think gold will go up more the upcoming weeks, because people want to protect their money, so they will still keep investing in gold. But also remember, gold also has to retrace at one moment. So what did I tell you guys? Look at continuation plays. What do I mean with continuation plays? As you guys can see, there's always a trade. So every session, every time frame, there's always a trade. So what do you look for? Fifth on the 5 minute, you wake up in the morning. It's 8 o'clock. Yeah, so it's 8 o'clock. You you wake up before you have to go to work, or if you're a full-time day trader, you are just looking at the chart, and you're still going to look for value gaps. So oops, for value gaps, also here, hard to see. So I think this is something you want to look for. 5 minute time frame. It's hard to explain, you guys, but as you guys can see, no candle close below this, I think. Well, a small candle close below this level, and we went up. So what do you want to look for at this moment is so this is the last drop off, if you say it like this, if you do the inverted scale, and then you will look at the 1 minute time frame to take a trade. But like I said, it's not really my strategy. I'm testing something right now, but and you look for the same thing: higher time frame rejection or gain, lower time frame structural break, so higher low, and then you will look for um, a a for value gap to get liquidity grab, and then you go up, and then you will enter the trade. Um, yeah, these are not really interesting, to be honest. Mm-mm. I think that's all I want to say right now about gold. In my opinion, I would wait for it to make a high, but as you guys know, gold is a very valuable asset right now. So I think it will go up more. If you want to trade gold, go look into continuation plays, but it's not a strategy I use. It's not the way I trade. But look at continuation trades, and if you want to share a if you looked into continuation trades, continuation plays, you can also share a chart with me on the Discord and in the community setup channel. Any more questions before I go to XLM? What leverage do you use when you use your strategy? Um, what leverage do I use? Um, it doesn't matter, to be honest. Um, so, for example, you have a yeah, lot size actually. It just like, for example, it doesn't matter if I tell you guys like I use this lot size or if I use this leverage. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't add anything, I think, for you guys. It's just you have a account of 10,000 euros, right? I always say this because that's how hedge fund traders trade, and how yeah, professional traders trade. Take 1 or 2% risk. Um, that's like 100 or 200 dollars or euros, whatever you want, and a risk to reward of 1 out of 3 at least. So that means every it depends if you use funded or not. Yeah, not only because I'm using funded or not, but it's like if I tell you guys I use 30% leverage, you still don't know my capital. Um, so 1 out of 3 means $100. If I risk like $100, so 1% risk, $100 risk is $300 if it reaches my take profit. And yeah, with 2% you can do the math. So leverage is not very important. I can explain it in the Discord if you want. So any more questions before I jump into XLM, and then I think it's okay for now. Oh, we still have 11 minutes. So any more questions? How do you combine trading with you work 4 hours a week? How do you combine trading if you work 4 hours a week? I can help you with that, to be honest. I can help you with that. You just have to make a plan. So you have to make a plan like, okay, this is the hours I work in a day. This is the hours I work in a week. And if you have, for example, like if you have to be at work at 9 o'clock and you have to work till 5 o'clock, then you need to trade around it, right? Um, so I can help you with that. Let me say it like this. So because you have to like make time to do the trading, to make your analysis, and also not every time you jump behind these charts is the time you need to trade, right? So you have to have a plan first. Plan. You have to make an analysis. So every day you wake up, you make an analysis, and you put your alerts like I told you guys before. You put your alerts. So interesting zones you want to trade in, and then you will, yeah, when it hits your alert and it's your time to trade, then you will just look for entry levels. But I can help you with that. I will help you with that. Send me in the compound club lounge. Just tag me right now, and I will help you to make a plan. Because I use a lot of things, guys. Start doing IT. Yeah, but maybe someone does like IT. So I will help you with that, Stefano. I will help you with that after this stream. So any other questions? Before I will go over XLM. No other questions? Okay, then we're gonna jump into the last chart, XLM USD. Um, before I look at specific, oh, I see I draw something. Beautiful artwork, I think. It's beautiful. Beautiful order blocks. Order block, order block. But the thing is, you guys, this is just bullshit, right? This is just bullshit. But if you see a chart like this, um, if you see a chart like this, to be honest, yeah, then you can say good night. It's over. Nah, it's not over. So first I look at the total tree chart because this gives me a better perspective of the altcoins market because XLM, Stella something is a altcoin, right? So one of the 1 million somewhat altcoins. So I always look at the total market cap of this one. So this is the total market cap. I don't know what I've drawn here, but it doesn't matter. Crypto total market cap excluding the top 10 altcoins. But this one is maybe even more important. the top 10 market total market cap excluding. Okay, in 10 minutes we're done. So because Zoom asked me to upgrade once again. So I first, if I will trade altcoins or if I would invest in altcoins, but I would not advise that. I would not advise anything, by the way. But I always look at the crypto total market excluding the BTC and the Ethereum. So same thing. Daily range high, range or range low, range high. Okay, at this point we are almost going to the range low. Yes, range low. And as you guys can see, I put something here. At this point we are gaining. No, not really important to be honest. I would love if it's to be honest, I would only be interested. I would like to hear about the meme coins. Of course, sure. I will go over the meme coins. I will ask for input again after this live stream. So this is the only time when I would be interested in buying altcoins or going long on altcoins. So remember this chart, total tree chart. This is the mid range. This is a daily drop off. If we, so this will take like maybe 2-3 months, but if we gain this level, so candle close above this level, then it maybe will go back in our zone and then we'll go long on the altcoins. So also I can look at XLM right now, but as you guys can see, I can make anything out of it. I mean, like, you can say like, okay, I will just buy here, but if the total tree market cap chart is still showing no sign of bullishness, then it's also probably that we can go down here. So that means we can there still could be taken out 200 billion of money out of the altcoins. Because I always say you have people that want to sell and you have people that need to sell. I think I posted something about it in the Discord. So yeah, I think that's it for now. Once again, thank you guys all for stepping by. I think this was very long also, but it was very fun to do. So I hope you guys yeah, enjoyed it, and not only enjoyed it, learned something about what I do, but also about yeah, the markets and about technical analysis. So for example, yeah, for your point of view, I'm a technical trader, so I don't look too much over the fundamental news, but it's always important to yeah, to look at both. So Stefano, I will help you with your plan, and thanks everyone, and I will see you in the next one. All right, ciao.